Okay, no? So, sige, balik tayo sa usapan, no? Again, the characteristic of the primary group, number one, the relationship is sort of personal, intimate. The size of group is quite small compared to the secondary group. And it is in this same group that we undergo, so yung initial phase, no, of our socialization and enculturation. So very significant, very important yung tinatawag nating primary group. So a good example of primary group can be yung family, no? Which, we are a member. Pwedeng ang role natin is tayong father, mother, o kaya pwede rin namang children. Okay, proceed tayo sa secondary group. Ito naman yung type of group of which the nature of relationship with other members is more impersonal. Minsan na yung mga pagka nagtatrabaho na kayo, for example, diba, you get a job, you get hired, meron ka mga kasama dun sa loob ng company nyo, no? But you notice, the nature of relationship is less personal, no? But rather it's more professional. Much bigger when it comes to number of members, yet more impersonal, no, compared to the primary group. Proceed naman tayo with the third one. Bakit kaya ang tawag sa kanya is reference group? A reference, that is to which you identify yourself. Ano to, no? Generic groups to, mga kabataan, kababaihan, kalalakihan. They are generic and they serve as reference. Mga mga generic groupings to which people give reference to kung saan sila member. Pwedeng elderly, di ba? Bakit ang tawag sa kanya is reference group? Kasi ito yung ginagamit natin as reference kung ano tayo. Let's proceed now dun sa in-group and out-group. Somewhat similar with the reference group, kaya lang dito sa in-group and out-group, there is that element of feeling. No? Sa in-group, ito yung group na ang feeling mo is you are part of. Kapag ka-out-group naman, ito yung group na ang feeling mo naman is the opposite. Balik tayo sa in-group, no? In in-group, again, no? That is the same group to which you have the feeling of identification. Kapag ka-out-group naman, the opposite. There is that feeling of non-identification, no? Let's give an example. Halimbawa nga yung sa team, di ba? Meron, pag sinabi natin Christians and Muslims, ano yung what would qualify as your in-group? Kung Christian ka, ang in-group mo yung Christians. Ang difference ng concept ng in-group and out-group with reference group is that feeling of association. Yeah, proceed tayo with sociology pa rin, no? Okay, in sociology pa rin, we have different sociological concepts as the social map, okay, social status, pa rin tayong social imagination, social facts, forces, and the term as socialization and integration. Unahin muna natin dun sa social map. Meron tayo mga physical map in social science or sociology to be specific. Pero din tayong tinatawag ng mga social map. Halimbawa tayo, no? As we exist, as we were born, meron na kagad tayong matatawag na social map. That social map may be characterized of you being born from a rich family. You are born from a rich family, let's say. And second, you were born a female. Okay, from these social attributes, that would determine yung chances natin of success or failure, no, in society. Minsan, di ba, pag yung mga mayayaman, what characterize their social map? Bawa, when it comes to schooling, saan usually nag-i-enroll itong mga super rich private schools, di ba? Pagka mayaman kayo, di ba? Well-off yung parents mo, most likely, ang character ng social map mo, specific to schooling, you may be schooling no, sa mga schools na exclusive, di ba? Yung mga mahalang bayad. And after graduation, what could be your next destination? Okay, you may as well be working in exclusive firms din. Pag nag-asawa ka na, you can be married someone who equally belongs to the same rich family. Isa may ganon. Okay, ito yung tinatawag na social map. The social map represent potential destiny mo sa buhay. Speaking of map and destiny, no, life and society, isa pa rin sa element ng social map, yung tinatawag nating social status. Okay, ito yung mga many attributes no, that goes with the person upon birth. Minsan upon birth. No? Under social status, we have two types. The first one is the ascribed status. The second one is the acquired. Pag sinabi nating ascribe, what do you understood of the word ascribe? Sinabi mong ascribe, natural. Kumbaga ito yung mga status that acquire no, birth. Pinanganak ka na mayaman. Ascribe yun, di ba? Pinanganak ka na babae. That is ascribe. Basta na part of natural. No? May element of being inborn and natural. Okay, ascribe. Pinanganak ka na Catholic. Ascribe yun. Doon naman tayo sa acquired. Ito naman yung mga status that you happen to gain in the duration of your existence in society. Saan siya papasok? Halimbawa, yung ordinary ka lang dati, then after some time, you manage to become a popular celebrity. Saan siya papasok? Acquire or ascribe?
Acquired, sir, kasi nakuha mo lang along the way.
Gano'n, no? You graduated a lawyer, for example, ascribe. Clear tayo doon? Acquire and ascribe. Yung ascribe is conferred to you no by birth. Okay, nga pinanganak kang anak mayaman, that is ascribe. Pinanganak ka na tagapagmana, nag-iisang tagapagmana, that will be ascribe. While acquire, these are the status that we happen to gain based on our conscious and unconscious effort as we exist in society. Okay, clear tayo with that? Yung ascribed status, pwede ba siyang mawala?
Yes, sir. Kasi di ba may mga tao din pong mayaman na naghihirap.
Okay, pwedeng ang ascribed status mo is anak mayaman ka, but eventually, that same ascribed status can turn into the opposite, di ba? Ascribed status mo is anak mayaman ka pinanganak, ang acquired status mo in the process, you become poor. Let's go to the next concept, social imagination. Ano ba yung simple term that we can give dito sa tinatawag nating social imagination? Sabi natin, when an individual is born, he is born with many limitations set forth by society. Tama? Diba? Pwedeng pinanganak kang mahirap. Ang ascribed status mo mahirap. No? Pinanganak kang babae. No? Again, there are those set of limitations. Now, what is being said in social imagination? Ang common term kasi for social imagination is diskarte. Okay? Alam mo diskarte? Sabi nila, whatever status you were born with, whatever attributes you may have by birth, minsan you can go beyond these limitations set forth by status and attributes. Only by which way? By way of social imagination. And what is involved in social imagination? Your mastery of understanding on how the many factors of society behave. Diba? Pag kabisado mo paano tumatakbo yung society, how other members of society behave, there is always that chance for you to go beyond dun sa limitation set forth by your status and by the many attributes that you have since birth. Bigay tayo ng good example, no? Manny Pacquiao, di ba? Si Manny Pacquiao, when you try to check on the attributes and the status of Manny Pacquiao, there are as many attributes, no, and status that limits success, no, for the likes of Manny Pacquiao. But then, ano yung maganda kay Manny Pacquiao? No? Meron siyang diskarte. And the same social imagination of diskarte enabled him to climb yung social ladder. Diba? From mahirap, ano na ngayon? Accomplished boxer and at the same time, politician sa gobyerno. Diba? Get the idea of social imagination?
Diba, sir, we have a social map or yung possible or potential destiny natin. Pero we can shape or we can change it the way we want it to. Depende po sa diskarte nga po ng tao.
Parang, to simplify, ganun siya, no? Okay, meron kang status that determines yung destiny mo in the social map. Pero kung may diskarte ka, pwede mong baguhin, no, in the process. Yung same set of destiny being provided by your given social status. Yung iba, they use their talents, diba? Yung iba naman, they use their intellect. Yung iba, they use their connections. But what is common in them, alam nila kung paano gumalaw yung society. And alam nila paanong mag-capitalize, no? Sa the same movement and attitude that people have, no, in given society. Kasi tayo, I think we have already touched this one naman, socialization and inculturation or acculturation. Sabi natin, the human persons are characterized as social beings. That is, we cannot survive on our own or develop on our own. No? Okay, ano yung kailangan natin? We need membership in a particular group or society. And how are we inducted to our society? Paano tayo nai-introduce? How are we being oriented and trained to become part of society? Okay, by these two processes, socialization, and the other one is acculturation. Pag sinabi natin socialization, we take part, di ba? Sa kung ano yung, we are exposed and we take part to those many activities of society. And by way of being part, no, of these many activities of society, what do we acquire? We acquire the culture. Yung bata, di ba? Minsan yung bata, paano tayo natututo yung bata sa loob ng family? Di ba minsan kung ano yung naka-observe niya, di ba, na behavior, treatment towards other people, nung other members of his family, it is from there that he or she learns, no, the rules of society. Pag nakikita ng bata na within the family, no, very common yung use, or naririnig pala, very common yung use of the word po and opo. Diba? What could become of the child? Eventually, he or she will acquire, no, the same behavior of the other members. Yung isa naman, the opposite, enculturation, ito naman yung paano na-acquire by way of teaching and learning. O yung bata, di ba? From the very start, andyan na yung pagtuturo sa bata na paano sumagot. Dapat merong po at opo daw, di ba? Magkaiba siya pero they are both complementary, no? In molding an individual to be an effective, no, and contributing member of the society. So dito muna tayo, biocultural and sociocultural evolution. Not the same, but again, connected but related. So when we say biocultural, we look at how developments, no, the physiological development of humans aided in their cultural evolution. What enabled humans, no, to speak, to communicate, tied up siya dun sa biological evolution. Diba, sabi natin, there was a time na pag tinignan mo yung physiology of early humans, you would notice na yung leeg niya halos nakadikit dun sa katawan niya. Tama? And given such biological feature of early human, then the same biological features make it impossible for the early human to develop communication. You get the idea? How biology is related to culture. Ayun yung pinaka-objective, no? In brief, ganun lang naman ang tinitingnan dyan sa biocultural evolution. The interconnection between culture and biology. Halimbawa, sa ngayon, no, baliktarin natin. The one we cited is the effect of human biology to cultural development. Baliktarin naman natin. Is cultural development of humans as well affecting whatever regional biological makeup we have?
Siguro, sir, yes. Di ba, we adapt to changes, both from the environment and from the society, sir.
Halimbawa ngayon, di ba? Yung advances in culture of people, no, especially in this time of modernity, makikita natin, it is now altering the original biological makeup of humans. Diba? Survive, dati ang rule is who decides nature. Expose mo yung isang entity sa nature, who will decide for its survival? It would be nature. Pero ngayon kasi, even yung cultural advancement of humanity is now changing, no? That yung rule of the game. Ngayon, pagka gusto mo magpalaki ng muscle, all you need to do is, yung iba nagpapa-inject lang ng steroids, di ba? And instantly, may mga six-pack na kaagad sila. Get the idea?
Yes, sir.
How advances in culture can alter the original rule, no, for adaptation and survival. So, minsan, no, culture can change yung mga natural processes. Sociocultural evolution naman, how culture itself may determine, no, the kind of social relation that people may have in society. Or vice versa, how social relation in society may come to alter whatever was originally believed by the members. Bigyan natin ng example. Ano yung changing behavior of society ngayon when it comes to third sex? You're a homo, for example. Ano ang dating behavior ng society towards homosexuals?
Ano, sir, discriminate. They discriminate kasi they think those kind of people are below them.
Okay, no? We tend to relate to them, no, with discrimination. Pero in the process kasi, makikita natin ngayon, with individuals belonging to this group of homosexuals, proving themselves to society, makikita mo, iba na rin ang attitude, di ba? At this time, nung current society, pagdating to the same group of people, ano na ang attitude ngayon? Anong benchmark nung ganyan, nung change in society na yan? Change in values of society na yan pala. Bawa, tingnan mo na lang si Vice Ganda, di ba? Kung the same attitude pa rin meron ng society, the likes of Vice Ganda will not make it to fame. Ito, yung changing human behavior, interaction, how it affects yung culture, past and current culture of society. Ito naman yung dinidiscuss dito sa socio-cultural evolution. Although, ito, no, socio-cultural evolution undergo different stages from hunter-gatherer, horticultural, agricultural, industrial, and post-industrial. In summary, ano lang ba yung tinitingnan for each stage of the socio-cultural evolution? Ang tinitingnan lang naman is yung how social relations are changing cultural beliefs. At the same time, how new cultural beliefs oppositely are changing past social relationships. You get the point? They are interacting yung dalawa, social and cultural, when it comes to evolution of people and society. Okay, let's move now to kinship. Okay, pag sinabi natin kinship, ano ba ang simple meaning of kinship? It is speak of what?
Parang a built relationship or...
Okay, you talk about kinship, you're simply talking of relatedness. Diba? Relatedness. Ayun ang pinag-uusapan sa kinship, no? Kaya nga meron tayong tinatawag ng mga relatives and non-relatives, di ba? Okay? So in kinship, try to look at the degree of relatedness. Now, iba't ibang society, iba-iba ang brand of kinship na meron. And by category, how can kinship be established? Meron tayong tatlo dyan. One, kinship may be established by blood. Another, by law, o kaya naman by customs. Look at the family, what kind of kinship governs relationship of people in the family? Is it by blood, by law, or by customs? Okay, by blood. Diba? Kumbaga, natural, no? Pagka itong taong to nag-anak sa'yo, then she becomes your mother. Diba? By blood eh. And if this mother has a husband, then that husband of your mother becomes your father. By blood. Okay, yung iba naman are established by law. Paano yun? You become related by law. Okay, marriage. Diba? You are two strange individuals, diba? Non-related, but you become kin, no, by way of marriage. Ano pa? Yung mga example of by law. Halimbawa, you adopt this particular child. Is kinship established?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no? So, adoption is as well a way of establishing kinship. Kaya by law, no? Marriage, adoption, and iba't ibang batas din, iba-iba rin ang possibility for marriage. Halimbawa, yung step-brothers and sister, by law, are they allowed to marry? Sa Pilipinas, culturally, it is not allowed, no? But by law, ang disallowance lang sa Pilipinas is kung masyado kayong closely related by blood, then there is disallowance of marriage. But technically and legally, in the Philippines, actually there is nothing illegal, no? Kung yung step-brother and step-sister will decide to marry. Sabihin, hindi mo pwedeng ipawalang bisa yung kasal nila, no? Kaya lang, ano ang impediment sa atin sa Pilipinas? Ang impediment to success of such marriage is yung culture ng mga tao. Diba? Kasi nga sa atin, masyadong malawak ang expanse ng ano natin, ng relatedness. Bawa sa Pilipinas, yung second cousin. How do we treat second cousin sa Pilipinas? Kamag-anak pa rin ba sila?
Yes, sir. Basta
Kamag-anak pa rin, di ba? Kaya sa atin, napaka-extensive ng prohibition for marriage. I think, ganun nga, parang even if you are second cousin, I think hindi pa rin kayo pwedeng magpakasal eh. Unlike in other countries na even first cousins are legally and culturally allowed to enter into marriage. I don't know, due respect din sa mga Pakistani. Pakistan daw, allowed ang kahit na magpinsang buo kayo. Legally and culturally, they allow yung marriage between first cousins. Have you heard of that? Actually, sa mga royal families, it exists din nga, no?
Opo.
During ancient period, alam mo ba yung si Cleopatra, di ba? Si Cleopatra, yung famed Cleopatra. Sino ba ang asawa niya? Actually, ang asawa niya, kapatid niya.
Yeah. Sabi nila, sir, to keep the royal blood daw po, gano'n.
Tsaka, sa Egypt kasi, supported by religion and culture nila yun. Kasi in Egypt, yung mga sinasabang Diyos ng mga ancient Egyptians, actually, anong relationship ng kanilang gods? Mag-asawa pero blood-related, magkapatid. Kaya in ancient Egypt, very much acceptable, no? Yung tinatawag nating incestuous marriages. Kaya lang, as we go forward to modernity, syempre, nag-iiba yung mindset ng mga tao.